I remember when I was around 11 or 12, I told my parents that when I hit 13, you would have to literally yank my soul out of my body in order for me to stop acquiring bitches. Okay, I didn't say all that, but that was the level of confidence that I felt at the age of 12. What I did get that year was into a lot of fights, bullied, and a grade point average lower than 1.0. Crazy part is I ended up moving on to the 9th grade. America don't play when they say no child left behind. But more importantly, I got friend zoned. Now, 3 years after that, I did end up getting my first kiss, but that wasn't before getting friend zoned again 10 to 15 more times. Hey, I might not have tried hard at school, but I did shoot for the stars when it came to being friend zoned. And then I turned 19, and that's when I downloaded my first dating app. Now, this is when the same level of confidence I had back at the age of 11 or 12 reared back its ugly head. But now, since I was old enough to understand the concept of sex, I was like, yo, I'm about to be swimming in so much pussy, they're gonna have to call the Navy SEALs to come save me from death. Now, let's say you were taking a multiple choice test and your answers were A, B, C, and D, and you somehow managed to choose Q. I don't know how you did it, but you did. You would be closer to being correct than I could have ever been with my own statement. Because I did not end up getting a date with that app for at least a solid 2 years after downloading it. Now, was it my fault or were the dating apps at fault? That is what we're gonna ask today. To start off, it's not that I was so ugly that I couldn't get any matches. No, I was getting matches. I mean, it was kind of hard for me not to get matches since I was kind of just doing this the whole time. Because what did I say before? I wanted to be swimming in so much pussy that they needed the Navy SEALs to save me. Like, nigga, if I did that shit the way that they said that I was supposed to, I'd be swimming in a puddle of pussy. I don't want that. But I should say that I really did want a relationship over just casual sex. But as a guy in your early 20s, you'll usually just take whichever one comes to you first. Now that we caught up to the present, several years later, I've only been on one other date since then. Now, I could easily blame COVID for why this shit happened. But that's like getting a mosquito bite and then going and playing all 4 quarters of a basketball game, only to then blame the mosquito bite for why you scored 0 points. Like, yeah, sure, the mosquito bite sucks, but with or without that bite, you were gonna score 0 points. Don't ever get it twisted. But this year, I decided to change everything. I was no longer going to be single. Now, I did first consider that I should go outside and talk to people, but I am a YouTuber. That's illegal. So I instead opted to use Bumble instead of Tinder as a starting point. And keep in mind, is it my fault or is it these dating apps' fault? Now, Bumble, for lack of a better term, at least in the past, was for niggas who were pussy. They made it so that women who you matched with had to hit you up first. The problem with this, though, is that bitches are pussy. Nice little oxymoron right there, huh? Anyway, in the worst of situations, someone would match with you and not say a word. In the best of situations, they'll match with you and just say hi. Bro, bitch has been complaining about this shit for years and be doing it themselves. And I'ma complain with them. What the fuck do I say to hi? About to hit that bitch with a hello or a konnichiwa. Anyway, the bigger issue with the women on Bumble is that there's only 3 types of women that you really run into. I rave and I play Valorant. I like things country or related to cowboys and hate immigrants or black people. Or just drywall, straight up drywall. Like, it got so bad that I had to switch my shit to only they, them. Again, look, I know I said I wanted to be swimming in pussy, but pussy is like a meat substitute. Pause. But before I switched, I matched with 3 people. One I fumbled so bad that I'm not going to talk about it at all. The other one matched with me just to say that this part of my profile made her laugh, and then unmatched with me. I'm honestly very conflicted as to whether or not that is a win or a loss. But the third person was a black woman with an afro named Storm, who liked anime and video games. That is damn near the perfect woman for me. All that she's really missing is being artistically inclined, be really into talking about lyrics and hip hop, be over 5'8", be aware of what's going on, and holy shit, I'm describing myself. Now, at the top of her profile, it read, Sailor Moon can beat Goku. So, because I'm a Goku hater, I agreed with her. And because Bumble recently added a feature called compliments that allows men to message first, I used the only one that I had and messaged her, sure, she can beat Goku, but can she beat a million lions? No response. I'm just saying it's better than saying hi. Anyway, after that, I switched my thing to only be seen by they, them. Within 3 days, I had already ran into a problem. Bumble has this feature that lets you know if you swiped left on somebody who had swiped right on you. Bumble let me know that around 30 of the people that I swiped left on were either He theys or masculine they thems? I started to have a crisis because I was thinking like, yo, do people think I'm gay? Do I present like I like dick? Actually, I'm gonna let y'all be the judge of this. Let me know in the comments if this profile screams I like dick. Please let a nigga know. Anyway, anyone who was she, they, or feminine presenting they, them just did not want to swipe right on me. And if they did, we quite literally had nothing in common. You like horror, country, camping, and dogs. Why would you swipe right on an introverted black guy who likes hip hop, likes to stay inside, and only likes cats? Anywho, for this first round, I'm gonna give myself the point over the dating apps because Bumble is mid and I refuse to take responsibility for why I did not match with the people that I wanted to match with. So after my terrible expedition on Bumble, I decided to give Tinder a shot. You know, good old reliable, good old garbage. Honestly, this section is just going to be really short. Tinder is full of bots, or women so bland that they appear as bots. Because either the woman will have a Snapchat name in her bio that is completely different than her own, or if the Snapchat actually does have her name, there's no way that you can look at this profile and say that this is an actual human being. Like, what the fuck you mean you horny 24/7? Bitch, go to sleep. And even when I did encounter real people, a lot of them were more boring than the people on Bumble. Like at a certain point, I was so turned off by the app that I would forget to use it. And Tinder doesn't like that for a reason I will mention in a few moments. So what Tinder will do as a response to you not using the app is send you reminders like, and the award for the most anticipated return to Tinder goes to Franklin. Ooh, here's one of my favorite ones. I got back on Tinder and wondered why I ever left. A memoir by Franklin. You'll want to see how the story goes. No the fuck I don't. Also, that shit says it's by me. I didn't write that shit. Who the fuck plagiarized my name on the cover? I'm finna sue Tinder into oblivion. Also, going back to the reason why Tinder really wants you to get back on the app is because they run ads for every few swipes that you have. And honestly, I don't mind the ads. And actually, sometimes I'll even swipe right on the ads because it's probably been the most interesting thing that I had seen in the past 20 swipes. I'll literally be like, white woman, white woman, white woman, white woman with a fat ass, white woman with no personality, white woman, white woman. Holy shit, is that alcohol? Now, I had around 13 people that swiped right on me. I didn't match with any of them, but this was probably the funniest profile that I saw on there. Nerdy boys who love thrifting, please. And also, I have great personality. Tits. Moving on. Now, obviously, if I give myself the point here, which I 100% will, I'm going to win, and that means that it's not my fault. But I'm gonna throw a curveball here. The last round is a special round, so whoever wins gets 3 points. Now, after getting bored of Tinder and swiping left on the 100th he, they on Bumble, I downloaded Hinge. Hinge functions like, well, how a dating app is supposed to function, honestly. After you send a few likes or comment on a few people's profiles, they will find a common ground with all the people that you liked and start sending you those types of people. However, off rip, I noticed one glaring issue. Out of my first 30 minutes of swiping, this is not an exaggeration, by the way, I did not encounter a single person of color. It was snow bunny heaven in that motherfucker. Like, if for whatever reason you were trying to start a all-female KKK, you could have a room full of bitches in 5 minutes. But, and I have to give Hinge props here, you can sort by ethnic background. Some might be like, that's racist. To that I say, shut the fuck up. And I don't want it to come off like I don't like white women. Like I've said in another video, I really just prefer somebody that I could say nigga with. And getting a white woman to do that is hard. Unless she's there for that hypothetical clans meeting that I said earlier. Honestly, I think my problem is that I live in a part of California that just has a bunch of white people. Anyway, I set my settings to this and only non-binary. And I was not disappointed. Okay, I kind of was and wasn't. I'll explain, hold on. I would love to hang out with a lot of these people. But on the non-binary side of Hinge, I ran into the most interesting group of people that I've ever encountered on a dating app. Like, who the fuck would put this in a dating bio? When you kiss someone, you become a long tube with a butthole on each end. I had absolutely nothing in common with this person, but I wanted to swipe right just because I had been disappointed for the past several weeks. This was a he-they dude that put Fireworks by Katy Perry is their Cry in the Car song, and then you scroll down a bit and it just says, my most irrational fear is feeling like a plastic bag. I don't even swing like that, but that nigga had me thinking just out of how funny that was. And then you'll have profiles like this one where what is blurred out is literally just porn. Also, for some reason, Hinge thought that we were the most compatible in that moment. I don't know why it thought that. I said I don't swing that way. Later on, I received somebody on another part of the gender spectrum who was equally as freaky. Their profile can really just be condensed into, this is a snow bunny with jungle fever that has had dick in her lungs. She also felt the need to post her ass in underwear, which, bitch, this is not Tinder. So at this point, you might think that that was the most insane profile that I encountered. This was. And this final one that I want to show didn't actually come from me. This was from Twitter. Just straight up says, I go crazy for nigga piss. Honestly, Hinge is great. Now, I ended up having conversations with 6 people. I fumbled 5 of them. The last one was just really boring, honestly. Like, how you gonna ask me a question of, would you rather fight 100 ant-sized elephants or fight 1 elephant-sized ant? And then when I respond, you just say, yeah, LOL. And then when I respond with a little bit of curiosity saying, what are you choosing? You gonna hit me with, the other option, LOL. Honestly, I could have a more lively conversation with a fucking corpse than with this bitch. And I can understand if we're friends and you're talking to me like this. But you matched with me on Hinge and you're the one who asked this question. Maybe she thought my vibes were off because I wasn't saying LOL back to her. Anyway, the coolest person that I ended up matching with was someone who was autistically infatuated with Fortnite. And you might think that I'm using autistic as an exaggerative word. Nah, they deadass told me this themselves. And low-key, I respect that. But yes, I fumbled this and I'm not gonna show you how. Now to finish up, there were around 8 women who either liked my profile or commented something about my profile. And like most of them were gorgeous, but because of how picky I am, I just never responded to them. Although there was one that made me laugh because she hit me with a pickup line I've only heard men use on women. She hit me with the, you look so familiar. Did we go to school together? The answer, by the way, is that we did not go to the same school. Because if we did, I promise you, you would not forget that you went to school with a fucking penguin. To finish off, Hinge is genuinely the best dating app, period. Nothing comes close. I genuinely believe that you are a dumbass for using any other app. So because of that, Hinge wins 3 points for the dating apps, and I am now at fault for why I am still single and not getting matches on them. Also, here's a small clip of the profiles that I thought were interesting or funny that I did not get to use in the video.